Hi all, I've got a different angle today because I don't have my bowl I used from my yogurt on Tuesday, and that held up my phone on my steering wheel. So I just got done with an appointment with my primary care nurse practitioner, and he is new to me. I've only seen him once. This is my second time now. So he is kind of just in this place of trying to figure everything out, gather information from all my other doctors in the past, keep up with what's going on, and be able to help connect me with any local resources and things. So he, copied my information I brought from the neurosurgeon's office and, listened to what I had to say, and agreed that this is all a good thing that I have a diagnosis because now I know what's going on. I did not, my brain is having a hard time today, so this is what happens talking to me. Last time I did really well. It was amazing how well I spoke, but one of the issues with Chiari malformation is this word recall, and so my habit is to kind of just look up to the side and pause until the word comes. Sometimes I get frustrated, sometimes my kiddo gets frustrated, sometimes I say thing and stuff way too much, but it happens and I do the best I can. So anyways, let's see, we're just going to change course here. On Tuesday I had my full spine MRI. The tech was amazingly kind and wonderful. It was a very long MRI. It was close to an hour and a half because I had to do 3 different sections: cervical, thoracic, and lumbar spine sections. Laying there for so long, unable to move, and on my back, triggered a lot of neck pain and pain in my occiput, which is the bone at the back of your head, which is where the cerebellum is pressing against, is in my occiput in the back of my neck and everything. And then the noise from an MRI. MRI machines are so loud. I'm used to them. I don't get claustrophobia. I don't get anxiety from them, but it's uncomfortable and it's really loud, and even with the earplugs. So by the time I got up from my MRI, I had a pretty bad Chiari headache. I ate some food, took a prescription pain medication I have for my migraines. It did not help. It was a very long evening Tuesday. I had to go pick up my kiddo from school and then try to get schoolwork done, but I couldn't because my head hurt so much. I couldn't stare at a screen. I have started compiling some playlists on the YouTube channel. One is Chiari information, so more medical stuff, and one is Chiari stories. So when I come across someone who's recorded a video about their Chiari, what it's been like for them, or surgery or something, I'm at least putting one link to their videos in there so that maybe other people can find them or peruse around and see other things. I watched one the other night. She just explained all the symptoms so well, and what it's like just not being taken seriously, which is a whole nother video I want to do about how I've spent 6 years undiagnosed. So yeah, I let's see, the MRI, got that sent. I realized that I have a second opinion scheduled in January with another neurosurgeon with a different hospital in my state, and I needed to have all of my MRI discs with me. So I called the MRI center yesterday and asked them to send a copy directly to the first neurosurgeon, so that I can have my copy with me instead of sending them that copy. I organized a folder with basic information, and I have a little case of CDs for my MRIs and x-rays, so that all of that is in one place, that if I go someplace or do something, I've got it with me for an appointment. It's ready to go. But next up is I am trying to get a counselor or therapist. I can't function very well right now. My focus is really bad. My stress is really bad. Sometimes in the evenings, I get my kid to bed and I'm supposed to be doing schoolwork and I just cry. I just sit there and I just cry, and I try to talk to people so I'm not alone, but it's really hard. So I'm trying to get in with a counselor so I have somebody to process that all with, and I don't sit there and do it all by myself. I have someone I can talk to about all of the medical stuff. All of the trauma that I've dealt with in my life, I have dealt with a lot of trauma, so maybe I'll explain some of that at a different point. And the next up, I have a social worker appointment next week. And then in January, I have a psych intake appointment and a second opinion appointment. And there will probably be a 6-week pre-op appointment. I can't remember how many weeks ahead they do the pre-op, but that will probably be in January as well. I was trying to get life insurance sorted out before I had a diagnosis, but it did not move quickly. And so since I have a surgery scheduled, they will not offer me a life insurance policy. So if someone comes across this video and they are expecting or foreseeing a Chiari diagnosis, I highly recommend getting life insurance before a diagnosis happens. Get it set up. It's cheaper before you have a diagnosis. You're not lying if you don't have a diagnosis yet. And if you get scheduled for surgery, then it throws it all off if you don't have it set up yet. I am hoping that I will be able to get life insurance after surgery. My fear is not that something will go wrong with surgery and I don't wake up. I am not concerned about that. I am concerned about throwing up for 5 days after surgery, but I'm not concerned about not coming through. I am also trying to get set up for Social Security income, but that's a very long process. So I have started the application, and therefore that's like a start date for it, but I don't know when I'm going to finish it up. I have a lot of schoolwork to do. The next 2 weeks, I am behind on getting schoolwork done. I didn't even turn in a rough draft for an essay. I have turned in many of my assignments in the last 2 weeks late. It's really hard for me because I'm quite a perfectionist and kind of a little Hermione Granger. I like to learn. I like to take it all in. I like to know what I'm talking about. I like to get good grades. I really like seeing those 4.0s. So taking a hit brain-wise, energy-wise, so much pain and migraines, light sensitivity, the focus problems, and then you add in all of the doctor's appointments and the, slipping into some kind of depression here. It is really hard to live up to my own standards for my schoolwork. I've been kind of used to letting my standards for other things kind of lax. I'm not completely unpacked from a month and a half ago when we moved, but part of that's because I don't have the space to put everything in, and my kid's got a lot of toys and he wants to keep all of his toys, and I'm trying to not be a mean mom and make him get rid of toys. But I don't get dishes done every day. Laundry, we have to go to the laundromat, so that can be challenging. I have to think smarter about how I do things. I'm trying to think if there's anything else coming up that's planned doctor's appointment wise. I don't think there's anything coming up. I will probably do a video in the near future next week, maybe about why I went undiagnosed for so long, or maybe a video about all of the symptoms I have. I feel like those would be good places to start. And I have had 2 friends tell me they can help me with making a banner or thumbnails and learn some basics. So that will be really cool. And maybe it'll be good to learn some editing skills so that when I do that, I can edit some of them out and make it a little smoother. The last video was super smooth. I was able to watch it all the way through and not cringe, which is really hard. I tend to not like my voice recorded, and I'm hypercritical about the way I talk when I pause and things. So I am at my favorite gay cafe, and the only gay cafe where I live, and I'm gonna go in and get some schoolwork done. I've got a computer assignment to work on, but I didn't bring my Kindle for that, and I try to have the video going on that while I can get on the screen, so I don't have to click back and forth so much. So I might work on my English assignment that was supposed to be turned in Wednesday morning at 9 a.m. and I didn't. That might be what I need to work on right now. Get that done. I still don't know when I'm going to write my essay. Still not even started with it. I've written like 3 paragraphs for a 5-page essay. Anyways, thanks for listening to me ramble. Oh goodness, I made it to over 10 minutes. Have a good day, and see you later.